Hi, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a decision tree with imperfect information. We have broken down the example 4 into several small pieces. In the second video of decision tree, we constructed basic tree structure. In video 6, we finished the probability computation. Now it's time to put everything together. Example 4 is continuing from example 1. But we have a new option, doing a pop-up store, besides open or not open a new store. Since it's like a test, it cannot reveal the market perfectly, which means even your pop-up store is successful, you might still fail in the real store. That is where the imperfect information comes from. Let's open up the decision tree page on Radiant. I'm going to use video 2 input YAML file as a starting point to build up the decision tree of example 4. So I'm loading the file here. This is a kind of complex tree, so I would prefer to define most of the numerical values as variables. You may wonder why. The first reason is the computation of many numbers involves other numbers. Variables can make the computation formula more readable. The second reason is if I want to update the value of some variables, for example, the probability of being successful. Variables will make it much easier because we don't need to track down every single place where the probability appears. Next, I will specify the variables. The fixed cost of opening a store is $2 million. The cost of doing pop-up test is $500,000. I'm going to follow the notation in video 6 to define the probabilities. The probability of real store being successful is 0.6. The probability of real store being a failure is 1 minus PS, since they need to sum up to 1. The pop-up test will correctly identify successful location 80% of time. That means, given the real store is successful, the probability of having a positive test is 0.8. So the probability of a negative test given real store is successful is 1 minus P positive given S. Similarly, we can define P negative given F and P positive given F. P positive is the probability of having a positive test. There are two cases. One is real store is successful and the pop-up test is also positive. The other one is the real store is a failure and the pop-up test is positive. Similar for P negative, probability of having a negative test. PS given positive is the probability of a real store being successful given the fact that the pop-up test is positive. Following the same logic, we can define the other three variables. I also define the payoff of success and failure here. And I will replace the cost, probabilities, and payoffs by the variables accordingly. After specifying the variables, I'm going to build a tree. It is a decision node. Besides open, not open, now we have one more option, doing a pop-up test. The cost is pop-up cost, $500,000. We will have two scenarios, pop-up positive and pop-up negative. Let's finish pop-up positive first. We will have P positive of chance to reach this node. Once your pop-up test has been revealed to be positive, you need to make a decision, open or not open the real store. For the scenario open, it will be similar to what we had above. You need to pay $2 million for the fixed cost, and then it is a chance node. The real store can be success or failure. Please be careful of the probability here. It is given the pop-up test is positive, the probability of a real store being successful. So it is PS given positive. The rest of part will be very similar to the former part. If you are not going to open the store, your payoff will be 0. We have finished pop-up positive. For the pop-up negative, it will be very similar to pop-up positive. Now it's your turn. Please pause the video and take your time to finish this part, and we will come back to compare the tree later. Just a quick reminder, please be careful of those probabilities. This is my subtree of pop-up failure. Do you have the same one? Did you remember the small carrot that we mentioned in video 3? We can use it to fold and unfold the subtree. It might be helpful to check each of your subtrees. Let's calculate the tree. In the final tree, the thicker lines indicate the optimal strategy. So it is to open up the pop-up store. If the pop-up test is positive, you will open the store. If the pop-up test is negative, you will not open the store. The EMV associated with the optimal strategy is $820,000. Please note there are 3 different decision nodes here. You need to specify the decision for each decision node. That will be all for today. Thank you for watching.